The first 3 graduates of the St. Luke's Health Memorial Hospital residency program graduated in Lufkin today. And as East Texas News Weekend's Tyree White reports, the program looks to bring more family physicians to rural areas.
And now to our graduating residents.
Yvonne Boeta, Carla Gonzalez, and Dorcas Amari walked into the Crown Colony Country Club as St. Luke's Health Memorial residents and walked out ready to practice family medicine.
It feels amazing. It feels so rewarding.
Dr. Yvonne Boeta is one of the St. Luke's Health Memorial Lufkin Rural Family Residency Program graduates. Coming from a small town in Mexico, Boeta saw the need to serve similar areas in the States. The startup program partners with Baylor College of Medicine to help bring more doctors to rural areas.
I cannot thank enough all the community doctors that help us, and of course the patients who are like the ultimate teachers.
The residents spend the first year of the 3-year program in Houston doing their physician training. They then come to Lufkin and train for 2 more years.
Rural medicine is a challenge to deliver just because we don't have all of the physicians that we need to service the area.
Monty Bostwick is the market president at St. Luke's Health East Texas. Bostwick says the vision behind the program is to get residents training here, so hopefully they'll practice here full time. Through the program, the residents are in Lufkin for 2 years.
It's just such a thrill to be able to be a part of their dream as well, and that's what today is a culmination of.
Tyree White, East Texas News Weekend.
While the Rural Family Medicine Program graduated its first 3 residents today, Bostwick says their next 3 residents are already on the way to doing the same thing.